Hey everybody, welcome back to another business analysis video. I'm Pippa. If you're just joining for the first time, we're working through a project moving from a CRM in-house system to on cloud. If you'd like to know more about this, start from part 1 here. We're on part 10 with the BA approach to this project that we're delivering. What are the steps when you are placed on a project? First, situation investigation and problem analysis, which we've done. Stakeholder perspectives, identifying the perspective of the stakeholders, analyzing the needs, evaluating the options, and after doing that, what are we doing now? We're defining the requirements. Yes, doing situation investigation and problem analysis, as well as analyze needs stage. We have requirements, but they're not defined at the low level. We have defined this at high level mainly so that we can go out to the vendors and then they can come and tell us which one we can do, which one we can do. And throughout all these stages, remember that the stakeholder engagement factor continues throughout, as well as throughout the life cycle of the project. Yeah, so define the requirements is the 6th stage. How are we defining all these requirements that we have jumbled up carried from all these steps within the BA approach? Okay, so what are we doing here? Define requirements stage. The business analyst is focused on translating the needs, the needs that we analyzed, and as well as the requirements of stakeholders into specific detailed requirements for the new cloud-based CRM system. So the goal of this stage is to ensure that the requirements for the new system are clear, comprehensive, and accurately reflects the needs of the organization. You have to be clear of what exactly the requirements are. So what is the deliverable or the outcome of defining the requirements stage? This will really depend whether it's an agile or waterfall environment or project delivery. So what are we doing here? This stage may include a requirements document that outlines the specific requirements for the new system. So let's look at this from waterfall perspective. A BRD deliverable example. Okay, so the BRD, what exactly does it entail? Remember in the waterfall, in part 3, we looked at the SDLC, the project life cycle, which is planning, analysis, design, development, testing, and deployment. In the waterfall environment, each of these stages is completed and signed off before you go to the next stage. Whereas in Agile, it's an iterative delivery. We'll cover that in other parts, but I just want to let you know that in the waterfall, when defining the requirements, you need to define everything clearly, specific, and have that signed off before you go on to the next stage, which is design. However, in Agile, you don't need to have all the requirements. You can have a few sent to design and continuously refining the others. So that's the key difference at this requirement stage. Okay, so let's look at an example BRD. Please remember that BRD's documents, the organizations usually will have a template for BRDs, so you don't really need to worry about what it is. It will guide you because you've done all this analysis and requirements gathering, so you will have the detail to add to the template. Okay, if you're interested in a BRD template, I have one in the Business Analyst School membership, but you have to join the membership to access these lovely resources that are available there. Link in description box. So here to find all the details you need to become a member of Business Analyst School. Okay, BRD. What is the topic of your BRD cloud-based CRM system? You want to have an introduction section. Your introduction will list the purpose of the document, which is to define the requirements for the new cloud-based system, which will replace the current in-house CRM system. The new system must be able to capture and store customer contact information, purchase history. You're kind of going high level, giving a summary of what the document is about. Next, you want to have your business objectives and goals. What exactly are you trying to get out of this project? So the new cloud-based CRM system is intended to achieve the following business objectives and goals. What are we trying to do? We are trying to increase the sales and revenue through more effective lead tracking and sales pipeline management. We're trying to improve the customer satisfaction by providing customer service representatives with access to customer information and history. We're also looking at improving the marketing effectiveness through targeted campaigns based on customer demographics and behavior. So these are all details you're adding. You will have a functional requirements section which will list all your functional requirements. Yep, I've listed 4 here on this document, which is number 1, contact management, the area or function that it affects, ability to capture and store customer contact information, purchase history, and other relevant details. And you have all the requirements there on that section. Then you have your non-functional, which we kind of uncovered in the analyze needs stage. Okay, I've documented this in the BRD, which includes your performance and scalability, security and privacy, your user friendliness and accessibility, non-functional requirements. Now you also have assumptions and constraints section. Our highest assumption is that the project must be completed within 9 months, because we don't want to spend 150k in the next month after that 9th month, because the way the contract works for our hypothetical project is that after 9 months we are starting the contract all over again. It's a 1-year contract, which is 150 times 12. You are bind to the contract for 1 year, paying 150 per month, 150k per month. So we don't want to pass the 9-month mark, because then we're bound to the contract for another 1 year. So we want to avoid the cost of renewing the in-house system. However, the budget for our new system is 30k per month after initial costs. And then the organization must comply. We have to, another constraint is that we have to comply with relevant data protection regulations and standards. Okay. Now a BRD has different factors, but this is like high level, the sort of details that your BRD should have. Remember your traceability matrix. You want to know each requirement must have an ID, must have a number. You must have a description of the requirements in the BRD at low level. High level section and low level. And then you also want to identify who the stakeholder or what business process that requirement is affecting. So this is an example of a traceability requirement traceability matrix. So that's it for the stage of defining the requirements. Just a lot of documentation at this stage within the waterfall project methodology. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, share this content. You never know who it might help. Till I see you in part 11, where we're looking at delivering the changes. See you then. Peace.